The experiments of Olga Borisovna Lepeshinskaya, the incredible properties of baking soda baths. The main goal of Soviet scientists was not only to prevent aging but also to find a way to treat it, even if old age had already set in. This was the belief of Olga Lepeshinskaya. She was nearly 80 years old when she began seriously considering how to prevent the signs of aging. Olga Lepeshinskaya shared her research on this topic during a public conference in 1953, dedicated to the subjects of longevity, aging, and life itself. During the lecture, Olga Borisovna presented her ideas on how to improve the human body and delay the onset of old age. To achieve this, she proposed the use of baking soda baths. According to her, their effects had a positive influence on the body. Even today, some doctors and scientists occasionally revisit this method. Lepeshinskaya, through her experiments, was able to provide evidence of its effectiveness. In fact, she herself participated in one of these experiments. Another volunteer was Ivan Numivakin, an inventor, doctor, and professor. Biologist Lepeshinskaya was convinced that the human body is designed for a much longer life than we typically imagine. According to her, our lifespan should be at least 175 years. As an illustrative example, Olga Borisovna mentioned people who had actually reached or nearly reached this age limit. One such case was Bondar Vasiliy Tishkin, who reportedly lived to the age of 145. Another was Mahmoud Ayvazov from Azerbaijan, who was 152 years old at the time of his death. In her lecture on longevity and aging, Lepeshinskaya also shared other stories about famous long-lived individuals. According to the memoirs of the Cardinal of Armagnac, he once encountered an old man crying in the street. When the cardinal asked the man what had happened, the elderly man, with tears in his eyes, said that he had been disrespectful to his grandfather and his father had punished him for it. Intrigued, the cardinal decided to visit the man's home. Inside, he met a vigorous old man who was already 113 years old. It was the father of the man who had been punished. He had in fact beaten his son for being disrespectful to his own father, who was 143 years old and also living in the same house. Biologist Lepeshinskaya's belief: understanding longevity through the body's inner processes. Biologist Olga Lepeshinskaya believed that the key to understanding why some people live much longer than others lies in the processes that take place within the human body, within the organs, blood vessels, cells, and metabolism. Olga Borisovna presented the findings she had gathered during her scientific research. In her view, several characteristics could be identified as underlying factors in the age-related changes that occur in the human body. She pointed out that, in aging bodies, larger protein particles begin to form and cell walls become significantly thicker. This leads to a slowdown in the body's metabolic processes. During her research and experiments, the Soviet biologist found a way to accelerate metabolism in an aging body. She began experimenting with beet seeds, soaking them in a baking soda solution one day before planting them. The result was a beet harvest that outperformed the control group, grown without soda baths, by 40%. Olga Lepeshinskaya then conducted a series of experiments to study how baking soda affects metabolic processes. In one, she placed part of a group of live tadpoles in a 1% baking soda solution. The second group was placed in regular pond water. The tadpoles in the regular water behaved as usual, but the ones in the soda solution were noticeably more active. The scientists also observed that the soda frogs developed their hind legs one day earlier than expected. Lepeshinskaya explained the results of her experiments. After being immersed in the baking soda solution, the tadpoles' heads grew larger, indicating that key biological processes had accelerated. As a result, the test subjects began to grow much faster. She ran a similar experiment with chicken eggs, from which chicks were expected to hatch. Every day, She made small holes in the eggshells and added 2 drops of soda solution to the contents. The soda chicks ended up hatching 1 to 2 days earlier than the control group. Initially, these experimental chicks were slower and lazier, but as they grew, they caught up in size and eventually surpassed the normal chicks. These experiments were conducted in winter. The scientists discovered that all the control chicks eventually died from illness, while the soda-treated chicks survived. Olga Lepeshinskaya understood that these experiments alone were not enough to fully explain what was happening, how baking soda affects the body's internal processes. So she decided to test it on herself. At that time, she was already 80 years old. She added 50 grams of baking soda to a bathtub filled with water at a temperature of 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Lepeshinskaya took these baths for 15 minutes, twice a week. The experiment lasted 6 weeks. Afterward, she reported that she had lost some weight and no longer felt muscle fatigue. She also said she felt better overall. As a result, some of her colleagues began taking soda baths too, and over time, they achieved similar results. "I feel better and have lost weight," some of them reported. It was also discovered that baking soda not only improves metabolism in the human body, but it may also be used as a treatment for certain diseases. But nowadays, thousands of people have started talking about a strange purple peel that speeds up metabolism even while you sleep, helping you burn fat up to 3 times faster. It was discovered by a scientist who challenged the industry, and now his method has been shared over 1 million times around the world. Click the video in the description and find out why this simple purple peel might be the biggest breakthrough in natural weight loss and rejuvenation since the Soviet soda baths. But act fast. More and more people are discovering it every day, and we don't know how long it will be available. Our research on the effects of baking soda baths on the bodies of elderly people is still incomplete. It must be properly examined in a clinical setting by physiologists and other medical professionals, concluded biologist Olga Lepeshinskaya. By the way, she herself lived to the age of 92 and passed away from pneumonia. How a Carpathian farmer lived to be 104, entries from the diary of a wise old man. Andrei Voron was a humble farmer who lived in the Carpathian Mountains and remained active until the very end of his life. He spent his days doing repairs, crafting, and working with his hands. This old man kept a diary, not only to recount his days, but to share observations about life and the world around him. His handwritten notes were discovered by Miroslav Docinchech, who carefully studied them and published the most insightful parts in a book titled Many Useful Years, The Principles of Andrei Voron for a Long and Happy Life. Anyone curious to learn from this remarkable man and his way of living might find the book inspiring. What did the old man eat? First, let's talk about water. He recommended drinking it consistently, without waiting to feel thirsty. But not bottled water. He preferred plain well water. Sweet drinks, he said, damage the liver. Salty drinks harm the blood vessels. To keep a clear mind and a light body, this 104-year-old man drank honey water on an empty stomach every morning. He had strong warnings too. According to Voron, men have 3 deadly enemies: white bread, sugar, and salt. He believed that the earth already contains enough salt, and no one needs to consume extra. Voron urged everyone to eat vegetables that store the energy of the sun. These should be on your table every day. He believed the best food on earth was beetroot. In his view, it was the most beneficial product in existence. He also recommended berries, salads, beans, carrots, tomatoes, pumpkin, apples, plums, grapes, peppers, spinach. Basically, everything grown in a home garden. He loved tending to his garden, cultivating a wide variety of plants. Taking care of them makes them twice as nourishing, he wrote. I rejoice in them as if they were children, and they feel it. They can sense what we need and give it to us. He carefully washed his freshly picked vegetables and placed them in a barrel filled with water. There, they would ferment and pickle, gaining rejuvenating properties that he also mentioned in his diary. Berries and fruits, after careful drying, were stored in the attic. He advised eating little meat and avoiding pork altogether, except for lard, in moderation. You can eat meat, but rarely, he said. Pork should be completely avoided. It has caused many premature deaths. A thin slice of lard can be beneficial, but never smoked lard. That's like chewing on tar. He considered fried foods, pickles, canned goods, sausages, and sweets to be harmful. Instead, Voron ate cereals, vegetables, and legumes. He preferred fish over meat, usually accompanied by dry bread and vegetables. Water is the essence of fish, he wrote. It has a cleansing and rejuvenating effect. Jesus bore the symbol of the fish. Voron typically ate only once a day and encouraged others to do the same. He recommended onions, walnuts, buckwheat, garlic, all kinds of currants, lemon, and any berry that ripens in the garden. He believed carrots restore energy and strongly encouraged eating at least 1 cup of berries every day. He considered religious fasting a great blessing. During long fasts, I feel years younger, he wrote. There's joy in my heart, the kind young men feel. Even the weight of my bones feels lighter. I feel like a bird. He also advised not to overeat, not to drink water during meals, and not to drink just before eating. And after your final meal of the day, he suggested a 1-hour walk outdoors. This is his legacy. Learn to see life all around you. Rejoice in the sky, the earth, the animals, the birds, the trees, the grass. Look at the world with peaceful eyes and listen with your heart. Then you'll discover a kind of wisdom not found in any book. And in that wisdom, you'll find yourself rejuvenated and at peace. Drink only clean, simple water. Drink it before you feel thirsty. That is the most powerful remedy for many diseases. Wherever life took him, he always looked for a spring, a stream, or a well. Don't drink sugary beverages, they damage the liver, or salty, mineralized waters. They can clog the arteries over time. If you must eat meat, do so rarely and avoid pork entirely. It has caused many premature deaths. A thin slice of lard can be helpful, but only if it's not smoked. Fasting is incredibly beneficial for health. It rejuvenates me every time, fills my heart with joy, and makes my limbs feel light, like a bird. It's very good for your health. Every day, the sun rises and then sets. Nature does this for you. Let your work begin with the sunrise. Make this a habit, and you'll be healthier in both body and mind. The brain heals and clears itself during restful sleep at night. Soldiers and novice monks follow a strict daily rhythm, and that gives them the energy to serve. And if you've made it this far, perhaps you too are searching for what Andrei once discovered, a simple, natural secret that gives your body the lightness of a bird and the clarity of sunrise. Not long ago, a scientist discovered a purple fruit peel with properties that could activate the metabolism, even in people over 60. Many call it the natural miracle of the 21st century. If you feel like your body doesn't respond the way it used to, watch the video I've linked in the description. It could be the first step toward regaining the energy you thought was lost. See you in the next video.